Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We are going to continue our studies of Intermediate 3. If you remember last session, we uh, finished Unit 2.2, talking about passive sentences. We learned why and how we use passive structures. We learned that we use passive voice or passive form of the verb when we uh, don't know who does the action, or a person who does the action is not important for us, or it is quite clear who does the action. In any of these cases, we prefer to use passive form of the verb. In order to create a passive structure, you need to omit the subject of the verb and put the object instead. You need a form of be verb plus PP form of the main verb. For example, the Statue of Liberty was built by a French architect. Statue of Liberty is the object. We have put it instead of the subject. Was built, was is to be verb because it happened in the past. We use was, and PP form of the verb build. If you want to bring or emphasize on the doer of the action in passive structures, you can do it by using by phrase. The Statue of Liberty was built by a French architect. We talked about the grammar, but we are going to check the answers of the exercises in Language Bank, page 35. Let's see if we have it. Go to page 35. Okay. 2.2. Underline the correct alternative. 1. Oh no, my wallet has been stolen, or has been stolen, or has stolen. The only correct choice here is has been stolen. The tense is present perfect, and present perfect form of be is has been, plus PP form of the verb steal, and altogether the answer is has been stolen. Number 2, were those documents be sent, sent by email or by post? As we know, were is a form of be in the past, so we don't need the verb be here. Were those documents sent by email or by post? Number 3, not many houses are being built, are being built, are being built at the moment. Because we need PP form of the main verb, so we choose are being built at the moment. Present continuous form of verb be is are being. Number 4, that piano isn't been played, hasn't be played, hasn't been played for years. 4 years, for years shows that our structure should be in present perfect. So present perfect form of be is hasn't been plus PP form of the verb play. That piano hasn't been played for years. Number 5. Cars that are parked illegally will be removed, being removed, to be removed. We need the future form of be. It is will be plus PP form of the verb remove, so will be removed. Uh, 6. Are those boys be made, or made by hand? Are those toys made by hand? PP form of the verb make. 7. We weren't employed, not were employed, weren't employed by the government until 1998. We weren't employed by the government until 1998. Number 8, we can't use the photocopier because it's being repaired. It's repairing. It's be repaired right now. So because of right now, we find out that the verb must be in present continuous. Present continuous of be is being. So it's being repaired must be our answer. Part 2. Complete the sentences with the active or passive form of the verbs in parentheses. Use the verb tense in italics. So the verb tense is present simple. The magazine, present simple form of be is, am, are. So the magazine is read mainly by teenagers. It is published every month. 2. Most of his programs, it's going to be present simple again. Most of his programs are not filmed in Europe. Most of his programs are not filmed in Europe. It's going to be negative. Film is our verb, so we have to add ed to film to make it PP form. He usually works in Asia. Good, because we have our subject of the verb work. He usually works in Asia. Here we don't need passive. We need to have active voice. 3. The book by an ex-soldier. The book, our verb is going to be past simple. The book was written by an ex-soldier. It described the war in Vietnam. It described the war in Vietnam. The second part doesn't need to be in passive form. Number 4. My last company make clothes, past simple. My last company made clothes. It by a multinational company called Z. So it seems that we should use passive form. It was bought by a multinational company called Z. 5. The buildings, we are going to have present perfect. The buildings have been cleaned and the walls have been painted. The buildings have been cleaned and the walls have been painted. Number 6. Present perfect. So present perfect form of be is have been or has been. For I, we use have been. I have been given a new office, but I haven't moved my things in there yet. So second part, we don't need to have passive because I is the doer of the action. Number 7. Today, this dish, it's going to be present continuous. Today, this dish is not being cooked in the oven. Is not being cooked in the oven. No, it is present continuous, so we will have being. It is negative, is not being. PP form of cook, cooked. Is not being cooked in the oven. Instead, we present continuous form of uses using. We are using the grill. Instead, we are using the grill. Number 8. English, future with will. English will be spoken everywhere. You know, English doesn't speak. People speak the language. English will be spoken everywhere in future. Lots of people won't speak it. Lots of people won't speak it. Actually, the first part should be won't be spoken. English won't be spoken everywhere in future. Lots of people won't speak it. First one is passive, second one is active. All right. Let's move back to our book, page 18. Page 18. Two point 3. I have no idea. I have no idea. We are going to talk about describing famous people, the ones you see in the photos. I hope you recognize these figures. This one is Leonardo da Vinci. This one is Che Guevara, Ernesto Che Guevara. This old one is Karl Marx. As you know, this guy, he is Einstein or Einstein. I bet you won't know this one. He is one of the well-known figures of English literature, known as the father of English poetry. His name is Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer. And the last one, as you know, is Charlie Chaplin. So let's start with the vocabulary section, describing people. Do the quiz about famous people in history. If you don't know the answers, guess or look at the photos opposite to help. So, number 1. Which highly original writer was once kidnapped in France? Which highly original writer was once kidnapped in France? Okay, what kind of writer is original? A writer who is original is able to produce completely new and creative ideas. Which highly original writer was once kidnapped in France? Kidnapped means was stolen, was abducted in France. Geoffrey Chaucer, Isabel Allende, and Jane Austen. Clearly, the one we have in the photos is Geoffrey Chaucer. Number 2. Which influential political thinker was famously messy? Which influential political thinker was famously messy? Influential person is someone who has influence on other people's lives or ideas. Influential political thinker, a political scientist who had a lot of effects on other people's opinions, was famously messy. Everyone knew that he was so messy. Karl Marx, Confucius, Machiavelli. So, as we know, among our photos, we have Karl Marx. He was a philosopher, and his philosophy is known as Marxism now. Number 3. Which innovative and inspirational actor and movie maker was stopped by the US government from entering the US? Innovative, someone with new and original ideas. Innovative. And inspirational, someone who is inspirational, affects and inspires other people. Leaves good effects and good impacts on other people's minds and opinions, lives. Judy Foster, Charlie Chaplin, Yoko Ono. Clearly, this one is Charlie Chaplin. Number 4. Which charismatic scientist spent his free time playing the violin when he wasn't changing the world? Charismatic, someone with charisma or a powerful mind who can influence and inspire other people. Which charismatic scientist spent his free time playing the violin when he wasn't changing the world? Galileo, Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. So, definitely is Albert Einstein. 5. Which brave and exemplary freedom fighter went on a road trip across a continent before becoming famous? Which brave Brave, a person who doesn't fear, a person who is not afraid and scared of anything, does brave things. Which brave and exemplary? Exemplary means very good, excellent. Freedom fighter went on a road trip across a continent before becoming famous. If you remember, in P levels, you studied about a road trip, a motorcycle diary. Hmm? Uh, as you have guessed, this one was not Nelson Mandela, was not Joan of Arc, was Che Guevara, Ernesto Che Guevara. Number 6. Which amazingly creative artist rarely finished the work he started? Which amazingly creative artist? An artist who had new ideas and created a lot of things. Pablo Picasso, Edgar Degas, Leonardo da Vinci. Definitely this one is Leonardo da Vinci. He used to have a lot of creative ideas, but no invention has been uh, you know, uh, done by his name. Good. Come to function, expressing uncertainty. Uncertainty is a situation in which you are not sure about something. Listen to someone giving the answers to the quiz to her friend. Which answers did the friend know? Let's listen and find it out.
Two point four. Listen to someone giving the answers to the quiz to her friend. Which answers did the friend know?
How about this first one? Who was once kidnapped in France?
I have no idea. Maybe Isabel alone?
It was Chaucer. I think he worked for the British government.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Okay, what about the next one? Who was Messi?
Probably Machiavelli.
It was Karl Marx.
Oh, really?
And the third one, who was stopped by the US government from entering the States?
I'm not 100% sure, but it might be Chaplin. I read somewhere that he had some political views that they didn't like in the States. I'm fairly sure it's Chaplin. Is that right?
You're right, it was Chaplin.
Yeah, I read something about that.
Okay, number 4, who played the violin?
I haven't a clue. I guess it was Galileo.
It was Einstein. He was a very good violinist, apparently.
Was it? That's interesting.
Number 5.
It's definitely not Mandela. Joan of Arc.
Didn't you see that movie about Che Guevara and his friend traveling across South America on their motorcycles?
I don't think I did, actually.
Yeah, Guevara was a medical student.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I just couldn't remember.
Who went on a road trip with his friend.
Oh, that's right.
And the last one?
Well, I'm sure it isn't Picasso. Oh, it's Da Vinci. He invented lots of stuff, but never actually produced any of it. Like, I can't remember. But I know he was an inventor as well as an artist.
Correct. It was Da Vinci. He invented the parachute.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say that.
All right. So, which answers did the friend know? Two of them, right. Number 3, about Chaplin. And number 6, about Da Vinci. Look at the phrases in the box. Match them to the groups of phrases below. We have I don't know, I used to know, I know it isn't, I'm not sure, but I think. So in number 1, we have the group I have no idea, I don't have a clue. So clearly it is I don't know. Number 2, I'm not 100% certain, but it might be. I'm fairly sure it is. Expressing uh, lack of certainty. I'm not sure, but I think can match this group. Number 3, it's definitely not. I'm sure it isn't. It is certain that something is not possible. So I know it isn't can match it perfectly. 4, I can't remember. I've forgotten. So I used to know means in the past I knew, but now I have forgotten or I don't remember. Well, uh, let's move to page 34, Language Bank, and read more about these phrases. Expressing uncertainty. Saying you don't know. When you want to say you don't know, you can simply say I don't know, I have no idea, I don't have a clue. Clue is the smallest piece of information that you can use in order to uh, get to certainty or find out about a solution using the clue. These are both informal. Saying you know what it isn't. It's definitely not. I'm not. I'm sure it isn't. Saying you are not sure, but you have an idea. I'm not a hun- I'm not 100% certain, but it might be. I'm not fairly sure. It's sure and certain mean the same thing. We can use either of them in these expressions. And finally, saying you used to know. Saying you used to know something. I can't remember. I forgot it. Doing the exercises, underline the correct alternative to complete the sentences. 1. What's my PIN number? PIN stands for personal identification number. What's my PIN number? I'm forgetting. I've forgotten. So which one is correct? Definitely third one. I've forgotten. 2. Can you smoke in the restaurant? I'm not sure isn't. I sure it isn't. I'm sure it isn't legal. So we can't say I'm sure isn't. I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it isn't legal. Legal means lawful. Okay, based on law. Opposite of it is illegal or unlawful. Number 3. What is this drink? It's definitely I'm not. Uh, definitely not. Definite not organic juice. Oh, sorry, orange juice. It's definitely not orange juice. So second one. It's definitely not orange juice. Number 4. How old is he? I'm surely fairly sure he is 20. So I'm fairly sure he is 20. It means I'm not 100% sure. I think it will be like this. Number 5. What's Maria's second name? I don't have the clue. I have a clue. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue is right. I don't have a clue. Number 6. What's the world's biggest building? I have no idea. I have not idea. I am no idea. So as you know, it will be first one. I have no idea. Number 7. Where do the Smiths live? I not remember. Can't to remember. Can't remember. Can't to remember is not possible because we don't have to, infinitive to, after modal verbs. So I can't remember is the answer. When does the game start? I'm not 100% certain. I'm certain 100%. I'm the 100% certain, but it might be at 2. So obviously the answer is I'm not 100% certain. I'm not 100% certain, but it might be at 2. Very good. So if you agree, let's get back to page 19 and continue the lesson. Page 19. All right. Complete speaker B's responses in the conversation by adding the pairs of words in the box. In the box we have no, fairly sure, percent certain, sure it's, I don't have a, I have forgotten, I can't, it's definitely. Let's read it together. A. 1A. Which sculptor is famous for the statue of David? Was it Leonardo da Vinci or Michelangelo? I have no idea. I don't know anything about art. Sculptor is a person who makes sculptures or statues. 2. What's the name of the American politician who made the movie about the environment? Oh, remember. Something is missing here. I can't remember. Was it Rumsfeld? No, Bush? Okay. So number 2, in part B, we add I can't. I can't remember. Number 3, A. Who was the white South African leader who freed Mandela? It was Botha, wasn't it? We can say sure I'm sure it was Botha, or um, I'm fairly sure it was Botha, because we have it in part B, so it can't be sure it. So I'm fairly sure it was Botha. wasn't it? All right. Number 4. Who is that American? Who is that? Uh, Who is that Mexican actor who was in Amores Perros? Oh, his name, but I know who you mean. Uh, which one can be correct? How about I've forgotten? I've forgotten his name, but I know who you mean. He is quite small and good looking, right? Number 5. Which company invented the CD-ROM? I'm not 100, so it's obvious. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% certain, but it might be Sony. Number 6. Do you know who wrote The Lord of the Rings? Wasn't it William Golding? I don't know, but not Golding. I don't know, but it's definitely not Golding. It's definitely not Golding. 7. Who won the last Soccer World Cup? I'm wasn't England. I'm I'm sure it wasn't England. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't England. And finally, number 8. What was the name of that Steven Spielberg movie about dinosaurs? I Clue. I Clue means I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. I don't watch Hollywood movies. Well, thank you. Uh, in these conversations, we learn how to express our certainty or uncertainty. And all right, let's go to part 6A, react to information. Read the extracts from audio 2.4 below. Then listen and notice the intonation patterns speaker B uses. So, what do you think the pattern is? Intonation pattern. Sometimes the intonation is rising, sometimes it's falling, sometimes it's steady. Each of them carry specific feeling and meaning sometimes. It was Chaucer. I think he worked for the British government. Did he? I didn't know that. So do you think it is did he or did he? I don't know that. Number 2, it was Karl Marx. Oh, really? Or oh, really? Number 3, it was Einstein. He was a very good violinist, apparently. Was he? Or was he? That's interesting. Number 4, yeah, Guara was a medical student. Oh, yes, I knew that. Or, oh, yes, I knew that. I just couldn't remember. 5. Who went on a road trip with his friend? Um, that's right. Or, that's right. Number 6. It was Da Vinci. He invented the parachute. Oh, yeah, I was just about to say that. Or, oh, yeah, I was just about to say that. So let's listen. New millennium. New millennium. You know how to write millennium. MILLENNIUM. Good. Okay, the rest will be yours. The passive. 4A. Complete the sentences with the correct passive or active form of the verbs in the box. Okay, the words are discover, assassinate, become, build, climb, declare, destroy, elect, release, and identity. No, identify. 1. The tomb of Tutankhamun was discovered in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt. 2. US and French scientists the AIDS virus, identified the AIDS virus. So we use identified in active form. Number 3, a wall was built between East and West Germany. Here we need passive form because the wall cannot build itself. A wall was built between East and West Germany. 4. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay climbed Mount Everest. And so on, you will do the rest. Next part, match the events above with the dates in the box. So, first one is done, 1922. The bomb at the tomb of Tutankhamun was discovered. Number 2, US and French scientists identified the AIDS virus in 1990. Do we have 1990? Yes. 3. A wall was built between East and West Germany in 1961. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay climbed Mount Everest in 1953. The rest will be yours to be done at home. Finally, expressing uncertainty. 5A. Put part B's words in the correct order to complete the conversations. 1. Where is the nearest bank? No idea have, sorry. So when you want to respond the question and you don't know, you say, sorry, I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea. 2. Is there anywhere you can smoke in this building? Allowed, it's definitely no, here, not. So, if you want to respond the question, is there anywhere you can smoke in this building? You may say, no, it's definitely not allowed here. It's definitely not allowed here. No, it's definitely not allowed here. Number 3, what time does this school open in the morning? What time does this school open in the morning? At fairly opens, sure, it's 7 a.m. So we can say, I'm fairly sure it opens at 7 a.m. I'm fairly sure it opens at 7 a.m. Very good. So do the rest at home. And in case of any problem, you will ask the reviewing and troubleshooting sessions after Nowruz. Thank you very much. See you next time.